All right, guys. Happy Thursday. As always, and now it's already a tradition. We're already having traditions with you guys. We've been together a little bit over a year, and we have traditions. You know how sweet that is. I kind of like it. So you guys know that from now on, we are going to have the streams on YouTube on my channel every Thursday, 11 a.m. Miami time. Depending where you are in the world, your time could be different. And of course, during these streams, we are going to have certain topics that we are going to discuss. And of course, the topics we announce before the stream, so you know what kind of visas we're going to talk about, what kind of topic, what's the discussion, what's the problem. And of course, during these streams, we will be discussing the approvals, and we will be discussing the trends and dynamics in USCIS, and I will be sharing with you all kind of insights from the company, from the immigration field, and the most important thing is that you guys will be able to ask any kind of questions. Okay, so I believe that asking questions brings the most value to any stream, including this one and the prior ones that we had together. So make sure that you guys come up with questions either before the stream or during the stream when I tell you something about the visas, or maybe something is not clear, or you want to get more information. So I want questions from you, okay? That's the most important, because I can talk for an hour. You know, I can talk for an hour, telling you the theory, explaining you the practice, the application, but the answers to your questions is what matters for me. All right, so make sure you participate. So today's topic will be about the investment visas, EB5 and E2. And we are going to be discussing how to minimize the risks of your investment to the US economy on those visas that we're discussing. Okay, so mostly EB5 and E2. Probably we're going to touch a little bit on L1 visa, the affiliated company in the US of your foreign company. Maybe we'll be touching on O1 visa in the sense of it as a business visa, because if you guys didn't know that O1 visa provide great opportunity to most of you to come to the States through your own startup, if we can show that you have some achievements and recognition in your field. And maybe we'll touch a little bit on NIW, okay? EB2, NIW. So I'm glad to see those of you who are watching us right now. And of course, I know that at least a couple of hundred of you will be watching it a little bit later, because for whatever reason you cannot make it to the stream. So you'll be watching then. You still can ask me questions under the stream, okay? So let's say Muhammad is watching me maybe 2 hours later. We stop the stream, but you have a question, so drop it in the under this video when it's released on YouTube, and I'll definitely take a look at it and give you an answer. All right, so let's get going. We are going to start with general understanding what kind of risks you will have when you come to the States with one of the investment visas, and they are E2 visa and EB5. Let's remind ourselves, what are those visas? And E2 is a lower investment non-immigrant visa, which allows you to come to the States with your family and work for your business. It could be a startup business, in other words, the new business. It could be an existing business that you purchased for the purpose of E2 visa. And of course, it allows your spouse to also get a work permit and allows your kids to go to school for free, okay, if it's a public school. So that's what E2 visa is. What are the requirements for this visa? Well, first of all, we want you to invest in your startup or in purchasing an existing business at least $100,000 $60,000. Okay? And I definitely know that some of you, oh my God, Stanislav, 100K. You told us on one of the videos that there were cases where you got approvals for lower amounts, or I know someone got E2 visa for a lower amount than 100K. Yes, definitely. I know those cases too because I filed them, all right? And I cannot say that E2 visa is like #1 visa in my corporation. No, I think EB1A, EB2, NIW, and O1 are the most popular. But we do file maybe at least 2-3 E2 visas a month. All right, so a year, maybe 30, maybe 35 visas altogether. Not a lot, but still, you know, we know exactly what we're doing. So the lowest investment that I had in my practice, what I got E2 approved, is $60,000. Okay, and out of this $60,000, probably about $40,000 spent before the filing. And this is very important to understand, guys. E2 visa, before we file the case through the embassy, or if you're in the States, it's crucial to understand before you start doing this visa, because you know, I saw people that don't understand that, or somehow it slipped their mind, that about 70% of your investment, so let's say it's 100K, so about $70,000 has to be spent. Okay, you have to spend that $70,000 before we file. And you're gonna be like, what? Well, what if I spent that $70,000? I go to the embassy and they deny my visa. Well, my answer to this, if you don't spend that $70,000, you will definitely get denied. Okay, so it's kind of circular, and I know you guys like, oh my God, there's no like magic pill. Stanislav, give me a magic pill. I don't have a magic pill, guys, okay? Unless, okay, it's easier if you hear it in the US, all right? Because we can work with it. If we get an RFE, you know, we can explain, we can work with the USCIS, we can ask them to reconsider. If they deny, we have some tools to fight for you, okay? If it's in the embassy, it's one-on-one, you versus the consular, okay? The embassy employee. So there's no, it's all decided over there. Hina, hello, I'm glad you're here with us. And guys, drop me where you're from. Drop the country and drop me the city in the comment section, so I know the geography. And I know that the demand for the streams on Thursday is growing, and we're getting more and more people with us. So I want to know the geography. So write in the comment section where you're from, where are you right now, which city. I want to know exactly where you are. I'm in Miami, Florida right now, working from my home office. A couple of days a week I have to work from my office because I got a knee surgery maybe 8 months ago, and I have to go to physical therapy. It's next to my house, so I have to work from my home office, which is totally fine with me. And of course, guys, the questions. I want questions. I care less where you're from. I care more where what interests you. Okay, so I see there are questions coming up. It's good. So let me finish with the E2. So 70% of your investment has to be spent, and we have to do this because that's the requirement of the visa, that you put your capital at risk. Okay, and today the whole stream is mostly about the risks of those visas, all right? At the time of filing, at the time when you do your business, at the time you extend your visa. So we're talking about the risks. I think it's going to give you a lot of value, guys, a lot of value. I see Edward from Spain, Madrid. Edward, just yesterday I was speaking with my friends, and we had an argument. I was like, okay, if you guys want to party, you have to go to Madrid. And like, no, why Madrid? You gotta go to Ibiza, to Berlin. And I was like, no, you have no idea. Madrid is the place to go. You guys have really good nightlife, a lot of history, a lot of culture. I love Madrid. When I was there, it's royal. It's so good. All right, the questions. I'll get back to questions, guys. So give me a few minutes to finish up with the theory on E2. What else? The proof of funds. Okay, proof of funds, very, very important. Why? Because that's a requirement by law. We have to show to the US government how you made your money. What it means? That means that wherever you have your investment, let's say Hina has the investment in the bank account, $200,000. Okay, I like to do it backwards. I'm not going to ask you, Hina, show me how you made that money and how you got to your checking account. No, I'm going to say, all right, it's on your checking account, so let's roll back. How did it get to the checking account? And Hina be like, oh, well, I sold my apartment, I don't know, in Hina, I forgot where you're from Pakistan, let's say, from India. I sold my apartment in Pakistan. Okay, good. My next question is going to be, how did you buy this apartment? What kind of capital did you use? And depending on the answer, we're going to go back in the past. All right? So we need to get to the point where it's either your salary, your dividends, maybe a loan from the bank, or inheritance. Okay? So these four are the most popular: loan, inheritance, dividends, and salary. Yes, selling of assets is one of them, but we need to roll back because that's not enough. Gift is good, but we need to show how the gifter made the money, and so on. Okay, so each situation is individual. When we have all that, so we have the capital, we have either the business plan for startup and about 70% of the money spent. We have the petition, and we're ready to file. Okay, so we can file in the embassy if you're outside of the US, or we can file in the US if you're here. Also, very important thing for you guys to understand in E2 visa is the difference between visa and status. Okay, and you hear me once in a while, I would say this, depending on the visa, but this requires special attention when we talk about E2 visa. Why? Well, because the length of E2 visa depends on the country where you're from. All right? And of course, why we're talking about this? Because E2 is not for all countries. It's only for the countries that sign a treaty with the US. All right? So the lowest length of E2 visa could be 3 months. And the examples that I have off the top of my head is Moldova and Ukraine. Let's say Kazakhstan has 1 year E2 visa. The majority of the countries, it's 5 years. Okay, so 5 years, but regardless of which country you're getting a visa from, when you enter the US, the status is for 2 years. So if it's 3-month visa or 5-year visa, the status is going to be for 2 years. And the way to extend the status is either to get outside and go back in, and that's how you renew your status, or you can file the paperwork within the US and extend your status for another 2 years without leaving the US. Okay? So that's what's going on with E2 visa. And also, last but not least, marginality requirement. Guys, marginality. Nobody knows what it means, but to explain it in a simple term, your business has to bring economic impact. Okay, so it has to bring some financial economic impact to the US. How do we prove that? Well, either we hire some US employees, maybe 2-3 people, the minimum, or our business is very profitable. What's very profitable? Well, probably anywhere from 100K and up. Okay, there's no limit at the top. So that's probably the last thing I want to mention about E2. So let's look at the questions. Mikhail, if you start a company outside of the US and over time spend 100K in company expenses, does that count as an investment? I don't know if I pronounce your name properly, if it's Mikhail or Michael. Let's say Mr. Hayes. Okay, this is a really good question, actually. You know, this is a really good question because the investment must be in the US company. However, the investment is a very flexible term. So the classic way to show your investment is to put the cash on the bank account of the company and then spend it. Okay? However, we can use investment in the form of goods, intellectual property, intangible property, okay, or anything else, equipment or software, application, whatever you spent your money on before, that you can use for the purpose of the commerce in your US business. So, Mr. Hayes, if you spend 100K in your foreign company and you have, let's say, assets for this amount of money, let's say in the form of goods, if you buy goods and sell goods, so you accumulated the goods, maybe some soft, maybe some intellectual property, website, or trademark, or maybe patent, whatever that is. We can show that you transfer the title of the goods or your intellectual property or your software to the US company, and that's going to count as the investment. Okay? So the answer to your question is yes, we can use it, but only if we transfer the title to the assets. The last case I had from Canada on E2 visa, where there was a boat on the company's name in Canada, and the new company was using that boat for the purpose of tourism business here in Miami. So we transferred the title of the boat to the name of the new company, and we showed that that boat was purchased before using the personal funds for the purpose of the business in Canada. But there was an approval. Okay, there was no problem. So we can use the same concept for your business, Mr. Hayes. Okay, Edward. Okay, you're from Spain. I got that already. Start a company from outside. Yes, Michaela, I got that one already. Okay, Hina. How long does it take after applying for US ITIN number? Usually it takes about up to 2 months. Okay, about 2 months. I don't know, Hina, if you really need ITIN. I mean, some banks may require you to give them ITIN when you open up a bank account with them. I think it's kind of rare. The only way you would want ITIN if you already have some income in the US and you want to report. I mean, you have to report it, and you should report it. Then you will need ITIN. You can get it either before you report your income, or the first year when you file your income from the business in the US, you can automatically get ITIN after the filing. Okay, so there are two options in this case. Either do it before or do it at the time of filing. They will give you ITIN like kind of automatically. All right, Freddie. Hi, I'm from Canada. Very good. We have a lot of clients from Canada on E2. Will it be okay to invest in a rental property of 400K in US to be considered to this E2 visa? Freddie, very good question. Actually, we just filed a case with Airbnb properties from our client from Canada. They were investing in the properties and they were maintaining them. So it's kind of a similar case to yours, probably. So what's the problem with investing in the real property and claiming it for the purpose of E2 visa? Well, the problem actually goes to the heart of today's discussion, Freddie. Today we're discussing the risks associated with E2 and EB5 visas at the stage of filing for the case, at the stage of doing the business, and at the stage of extending those visas or extending the green card to the 10-year green card. So to that effect, when we purchase the real estate in the States, and when we try to say, hey, we put our money into the business, the problem is that because real estate market in the US is very liquid, And when I say very liquid, I mean that it's really easy to sell the assets and get the cash. Okay? In that respect, the requirement of the risk is not satisfied, because let's say you purchase this apartment, you start renting it out, you're doing your business, but next day you can sell it. You can sell it and you will either not lose anything or even make some money on it. Okay? So there is no risk. There is no risk in having that apartment, or the risk is very low. So based on that, there is a high risk of a denial of such a petition. So, however, that's not the end of the question, because the better question is how can I still use this business model to get an approval for E2 visa? And I would always recommend, in this sense, not to claim the property itself as the business, but to create an LLC that's going to claim that, hey, I'm going to maintain other properties in the US. And look, I already have one property and a contract with that property to maintain it. Okay? This is a much better concept and business model. The only problem with this model is the amount of investment, because we need to still show that we invested at least maybe $60,000 for this business, okay? And this is the LLC, that real estate maintenance company, management company, okay? So, but we can purchase a car, okay? We can rent an office. We can purchase equipment like computers. We can purchase soft, and we can build our website and do some marketing campaign. And there you go. We spend maybe $50,000, $60,000. We can still purchase the apartment, and we can claim that business as a good E2 investment business. And especially, Freddie, because you're from Canada, you know, I noticed that in Canada, when we file for E2 visa, the US embassy is looking at your petitions like this. With closed eyes. They just want to see, like, okay, we got some money, okay, we got some reasonable proof of funds, we got some business plan, stamp, okay, approval. So I think, Freddie, with this idea, you'll have a lot more chances comparing, let's say, to our clients from Pakistan, from Kazakhstan, anything that has "stan" in it, you know? And I'm not trying to be like discriminatory or something. It's just a reality, okay? Like if the country is not in the western part of the world, like in Europe, like Canada, or similar, then the U.S. embassy is like gives more scrutiny to those petitions, okay? They're like more concerned about the proof of funds and things like that, and business idea. And again, it's just coming from my experience, okay? We just got an approval from Philippines about 2 weeks ago, and you know, usually Philippines is harder to get approval for E2, but with these clients, it was just like this. Okay, but there was no problem. They came. We prepared the good petition, good business plan, good proof of funds. There was no problem. There was a problem that the clients did not live in Philippines, and you guys know that with E2 visa, you have to prove your connection to the motherland, to your country. They didn't live there for a little bit, so which adds risk to the petition. But there's no problem. They got approved, so they're already coming here into the U.S. All right, Edward, I have a company in Spain and I want to open up another branch in the US. All right, I'm already thinking maybe L1 visa could be a good solution. I want to invest around $700,000 USD in it. Will E2 visa give me a green card? If no, then which visa should I choose? Okay. Excellent question, Edward. This is an excellent question. Let's talk about this set of facts. Well, first of all, what I like about this that you have options. You're definitely going to have a bunch of options how you can get the green card to the US. E2 visa is a non-immigrant, non-dual intent visa, meaning that regardless how long you are having this visa, you're not going to get a green card. Okay, you may stay with this visa for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, extending, no green card. Okay, so that's the E2 visa. It only gives you an option to stay and do the commerce. However, you said that you already have business in Spain. Okay, so that means that we should definitely consider L1 visa. Why? Because L1 visa is the visa for those of you who have a company in your country or anywhere else in the world besides the States. Okay, because let's say, Edward, you're from Spain, but you may have your company in Portugal, okay, or in Greece, or in Turkey, or maybe in Africa. It doesn't really matter. Okay, in your case, you have it in Spain, no problem. So I want you to have at least 15 employees in that company for the purpose of L1 visa. And I also want you to have the idea, the business idea in the US that encompasses at least 5 employees at the end of year 1. Okay? What it means? What's the practical implication of that? Well, we show to the US government that you have a business plan for the US company where you are promising basically to hire at least 5 employees at the end of year 1 when you need to extend your visa. And L1 is a visa for up to 7 years. If it's a new office, if it's a startup business, then first you get the visa for 1 year, and then you extend it up to 7 years by 2-year increments. So 1, 3, and 5. So if we have the business idea where you're going to say, hey, Stanislav, yes, I'm going to have 5 employees. I want one of those 5 employees to be like a manager. So it's you, Edward, your manager, or maybe 2 people who manage. And the rest, 3 to 4 employees, they will be doing the operational administrative work. All right? This is year 1. So we extend your visa. Once your company gets to the scale of 8 employees, where you have 2 to 3 people managing those employees under you, that's when we can requalify your visa to EB1C. Okay? EB1C means a green card for you, Edward, and your family. Who's your family? Your spouse and your children under 21 who are not married. Okay? So that's how you start. That's how you get your green card through the startup business, as long as you have a company outside of the US. And very important that there should be affiliation between these 2 companies. What's affiliation? It's more a legal term rather than a business term. That means that both companies has to be controlled by the same persons, companies, or a combination of companies and persons. So common control. So let's say, Edward, you own your company in Spain 100%. You own your US company 100%. You have at least 15 employees in your company in Spain. You build a business plan with 5 employees at the end of year 1 in your US company, and at least 8 employees at the end of year 3 in your US company. So that's your pathway through L1 to EB1C to get the green card. And I think the $700,000 investment is really good, because that's what I want to see. You know, I want to see at least like $400,000 when we plan for EB1C. L1 is different, but when we're looking at the green card in the future, we need more money because we're going to have a lot of expenses. So another option for you, Edward, is not to start up the business, but maybe to purchase. Okay, because $700,000 is a big investment. Relatively big, okay? So that money could be used to purchase a company in the US where the company already has at least 8 employees and the structure, managers, employees, subordinates, and somebody who's going to control that. So you can purchase the company like that and file not for L1, but for EB1C. All right. So there is an option to skip L1, but go immediately to EB1C, to the green card. Okay, that's another option. However, that's not the end, Edward. There is another option for you because $600,000 to $700,000 is so close to $800,000. If your idea encompasses 10 US employees in your business, then we may speak about EB5 visa, okay, the large investment visa. Yes, there are going to be some limitations on where you're going to be able to start your business because EB5 has two numbers, $800,000 and $1,050,000, and it depends on the type of business and the location of the business. So let me explain it really quick what I mean by that. So the type of business is like agricultural business or some kind of infrastructure business. Let's say you want to build a logistics center. Okay, those projects can get $800,000 investment, so lower amount. Or if your company is going to be located in the area where there's a high unemployment, that also can get a lower amount of investment. Everything else gets the higher one, $1,050,000. Okay, and of course we have to prove the origin of the funds. So EB5 is also a great way to get a green card, especially if you can come to the States on like tourist visa or a student visa. Of course, you cannot come with the immigration intent to change your status to the immigrant visa, but a lot of times people come with an F1 visa or a tourist visa and they see the opportunities and they change their mind and start thinking about immigration. So that's the better way to approach this. So that's another option for you, Edward, but that's not the end. Okay, you see, guys, when you have a larger investment, you have more options. I mean, it's kind of cruel because it kind of cuts off some people with great ideas but less investment. But there are talent visas for you guys. Okay, if you have no money but you have great ideas and some achievements in your industry, you should look at EB1A or one visa and others. So going back to you, Edward, your last option. I mean, last option in the format that we're discussing today, there's of course more, is EB2 National Interest Waiver. Okay? If your business idea is, I think the best example is when you bring some technology or maybe you bring some innovation to the States that's going to help the US economy or financial sector or maybe cultural or something else, then we can claim your project under EB2 National Interest Waiver, and that's also a green card. Okay, so in short, you have to have an experience of implementing what you propose to do, and you have to show that you can do this. And with a proper investment, that's also possible. And also, a separate way to get a green card on EB2 National Interest Waiver is to show that you will be employing 10 to 15 employees in the US, and that in itself would be in the national interest of the US government. Okay, so either you bring like some technology or some financial interest, or you help some industry to grow, or you create a lot of jobs. So that's how you can get approval for EB2 National Interest Waiver. Okay, Edward, I think I killed it with you. With your question, I think I analyzed it thoroughly. Sometimes we specifically use certain visa non-immigrant for you to come to the States, and then we expand it to the immigrant visa. So let's say you come to the US on E2, you start your project, your endeavor, and there's some kind of technology involved, maybe some research, whatever that is, and then we can switch to like EB2 National Interest Waiver. Okay, so there's like different combinations how it could be done. All right, guys, give me more questions. Give me more questions. I have more, but I would like you to ask me more questions so we spend more of a valuable time, quality time with you. Okay, Hina, Fedi, Edward, you're welcome. Okay, Michael, my apologies. I mean, if I have started a company in America from Europe, over time I spent yes. Definitely. Mikel. Uh, okay, I think it's Mikel. I'm sorry, guys. You have I like your names. They're very for my ear. They're very exotic. Yes, Mikel. If you started your company in the US, but you are, let's say, in Europe, you're in Asia, you're in South America, it doesn't matter, but you put the money into this company, it grew, it's successful, it's not marginal, it brings money, maybe it employs people, definitely we can get you E2 on that company. Absolutely. Absolutely. One comment. Let's say you put 50K in that company, and then you were reinvesting the funds of that company in itself. Very important life hack is to make sure that you paid the taxes on the money that you reinvested in that company. Okay, so it's kind of weird, but the way to do this is the company is making money. So of course, if it's profitable, you have to pay taxes on that profit. Take it out of that company and put it back in, and in between pay the taxes. Okay. Yes, it's possible to avoid that transfer back and forth, only if your accountant is going to make sure that is accounted in the taxes. Okay, so it's possible to avoid that ping pong, but you have to make sure that you pay the taxes on that profit before we can qualify it as an additional investment. Okay, and of course we can get you an E2 on that. All right, Hina, I have an investment of 1 mil in my company, so I can apply for EB5. Yes, Hina, bingo! I have a lot of videos on that. I'm constantly talking about this. Absolutely. If you have $1,050,000, okay, don't forget about the 50, because you can always give 800K to regional center, the passive investment, and you don't have to worry about the jobs and nothing. Okay, you just give them the money. It's like it's a mid-term loan, 5 to 7 years. In 5 to 7 years, they give you money back, maybe some interest, a very low amount, and you get your green card. And you don't have to worry about business expenses, maintaining your loan, about creating the jobs. The regional center is doing it for you, and the regional center is accredited by the US government. Okay, so that's the passive side of the EB5. However, if you want to control your investment, if you want to do the business, and you know that you will employ 10 U.S. employees, and who are U.S. employees? U.S. citizens, U.S. green card holders, and anyone who is authorized to work in the U.S. on a work visa, maybe some kind of asylum work permit, whatever that is. Okay, so it's not necessarily like U.S. citizens. It could be other people, right? So 10 jobs. And you have to create 10 jobs within 2 years after approval of your EB5 petition. Okay, and that's it. Once especially that's good when you can come to the US and adjust your status here in the US. Because if you're outside of the US and you want to participate in EB5 program, depending on the project, your approval could take anywhere from 6 months to 48 months, so up to 4 years. Okay, so that's a lot of months. Okay, and I don't know if anybody is ready to wait for as much. Maybe with the passive investment, I can see that. With the active investment, it's probably much harder, because like you may not do anything for 4 years. But if you're here in the US and you can adjust, that's just perfect, because all the time you wait, you'll get a work permit and advance parole. Okay, advance parole and the work permit together basically is a green card. I call it green card light. Okay, a light version of the green card, because it's not a green card, but it allows you to do everything that green card does. So work and travel. Okay, so yes, Hina, absolutely. As long as you have the original funds, and you can show me, and we can find out the best way to prove that it's been done. It's been made legally. You have all the taxes and all the transactions, no problem. Edward is like, yes, it's overkill. That's what I'm talking about. That's why I'm telling you guys, give me the questions. So it's much better for me and for you and for other people to hear me answer your questions, because they can, oh, okay, I didn't know, oh, I didn't think about EB2 national interest waiver with the large investment. Like, I thought that EB2 NIW is like for engineers, like IT people, mathematicians, scientists, yes, but also for business, okay? So that's how we interact with you guys with a much better quality. Okay, and I'm all about quality, result, and the value for you, because I know all this, but I want to make sure that you know. All right, so Edward, follow up. I'm actually running a marketing agency. Okay, good. Is there any restrictions for this type of business for EB5? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. As long as you can show that you hire US employees, it could be even like a clinic service. All right, and by the way, I actually wanted to discuss with some type of type of businesses for E2, for EB5, maybe for O1, for L1, like maybe the best decisions. So like clinic service, guys. I live in a big house, okay, in Davie. Davie is a northern part of Miami. All right, I have like an acre of land. Big chunk of land, all right? And my wife is an electrical engineer, so she's working, but we just got a newborn, my second baby, all right? So my wife is not working, she's with the baby for right now, and we don't have time to clean the house because we have 4 bedrooms. It's a big house, okay? So I don't have time. I need to call and have someone to come and clean, all right? And each of the 60 houses in my neighborhood, they're the same, okay? No one can clean a house like a big house like this, all right? So everybody needs somebody to come and clean. So this is a really good business, as long as you can hire people, maintain them, find them business through the marketing, and satisfy all other criteria. Okay, and cleaning business is always a good one because there's always a demand for it, because there's a lot of houses in the US. Same way as any type of like services, like cleaning the pool. Okay, cleaning the windows in the big buildings. All right, like outside windows. Grass, the lawn business. Right, you sit in a tractor. Your lawn and you mow your lawn. That's another type of business, like the service that has to do with the house, with the land and the gardening, landscaping. Like in Florida, guys, landscaping is huge. I don't know how many thousands of companies are there, and we still need more because it's hot and it's rainy. So when it's hot and it's rainy, things grow really fast. Okay, like I spent like $400 just for the guys who mowed my lawn a month. So imagine, like, okay, so each of these houses that around me, that's how much they spend. So that's how much you can make from one piece of land for the house. Okay, so do your math. Okay, do your math. Also, cleaning the pool. Like I spend like $150 a month for the guy who cleans my pool, because I can do this, but I don't have time for this, okay? So, for me, it's almost stupid to spend my time cleaning the pool when I can pay $100 someone a month to do this for me, all right? So, and that's how all Americans think, okay? Those Americans who make money, they want to delegate like those things, like cleaning, the gardening, the landscaping, the pool to other people. All right, so they can make more money, and that's how you build your business. Of course, like marketing strategy is very important, knowing the how other people work and stuff like this. And also, guys, let me give you another life hack, like the tip for those of you who are gonna do the business in the US. As long as you a little bit better than everybody else, you're gonna succeed. Okay, and what it means a little bit better. A little better customer service, like doing the follow-ups, working with your clients, actually calling back to your clients if they called your business. Like those little things, like nothing crazy, nothing like, I'm not even talking about like some super mega customer service. No, just a little bit over, because for me to find this guy whom I pay $400 a month to mow my lawn, okay, to cut my grass, I went through maybe 10 companies, okay, and they were so bad. Like, so bad. Just for you to understand how low the customer service here in the US. And that shows the strength of the economy and the depth of the market. Because those companies that are so bad, they exist. Okay? If they exist, that there is a demand for them. All right? So if you do your work a little bit better, like at least do what you promised. Okay? That's already in the customer service, in the service industry is a lot. Okay? This simple thing, just do what you said. All right? So like going back to my example with the guys who cut my grass, all I want for them to come like once a week, maybe once every 6 days, cut my grass, do it fast and with not damaging my lawn. Okay, I don't like when they damage my lawn because I spent a lot of money to have my good lawn here. So this is so simple. Cut the grass, come once a week, and just do your job. That's it. Imagine. So that's my requirement. And those 10 companies before, they couldn't live up to this. Imagine how bad they were. Like, they come this week, they don't come next week. I call, hey guys, like my grass is like this. Like, what's going on? And I'm like, oh no, crazy. Okay, so that's just for you to understand that this what you need to do to be good, to be above average. Okay, but if you put extra effort, like I do, for example, right? I put extra effort for your petitions. We with my team, we run an extra mile for you. So that's why we stand out. That's why we have 9 petitions approved out of the 10. Okay, because we care. All right. You guys know sometimes Stanislav can get philosophical, so let me know if you guys like me to go off topic and share my experience in the US. All right, so Edward, I was still answering your question, right? So, or any other application requirements? No. So yes, going back to your original question, and again, I think I overkilled your question, but I see the value in your question for other people too. Okay, that's why I'm going deeper on your questions, Edward. Any business absolutely doesn't really matter, but if your business is, again, in infrastructure, okay, like you doing something like you have an engineering business, you design the roads, you build the bridges, maybe you want to build a logistics centers, maybe you help some kind of businesses here in the US, or you are on a farmer side, like farmer businesses, directly or indirectly. Directly means like you actually want to build a farm and grow cows. I don't know, maybe grow some crop, or indirectly, like you help repair the equipment for the farmers. Okay, it's still agricultural business, agriculture, right? Guys, remember this word, agriculture. As of today, once the immigration officer sees the agriculture in the business, he gets the green flag. Okay, he's like, that's what we want. Agriculture, infrastructure. When you help the U.S. economy, the U.S. farmers, the U.S. Sectors that underdeveloped. All right. So if you have that, you have a higher chances of approval and a chances of a faster approval. Okay. Medicine business, medicine equipment. Very good. Okay, if you can do something like this, if you want to optimize processes in the production, in the manufacturing, in the factories, that's going to be a go. Okay, that's going to be a go. You're going to get approved. Okay, because U.S. government wants businesses like that: infrastructure, production, manufacture, STEM, science, technology, engineering, mathematics, or businesses just bring the grow the jobs. Okay, create the jobs. So that's what they want. The U.S. government is not very complicated, guys. Okay, and like one of my clients said, like, Stanislav, you hacked the system. You hacked the immigration metrics just because you get so many approvals. Well, I think we just kind of know what they want, and we just play the game. All right, and that's why I'm sharing these experiences with you guys. Okay, let's see what else. Mikel. After-tax profits reinvested. Yes, thank you for the heads up. It's pronounced That still doesn't give me that doesn't give me the understanding. It's Michael. I don't know. When you come to the complex immigration planning, you're gonna tell me, Stanislav, that's how it's pronounced. Okay. All right, Edward, you're welcome. All right, so guys, give me a few more questions. Let me go back to the main topics today because we covered a lot. Okay, we covered a lot. So let me see what's missing. Lucrative investment opportunities, we kind of touched on this. I think service business is really good. Agriculture business, high-tech business. Also, sport. Guys, look up into sport, the sport business, gyms, CrossFit, anything that has to do with a healthy lifestyle, maybe studios with yoga, Pilates, whatever that is. It's also good. It's also good. You can make money if you know how to do this business. And the U.S. government likes this kind of business because it brings health to the U.S. citizens and people who live here. Okay, due diligence and risk assessment techniques. This is really okay. Let's talk about the businesses that I don't like. Okay, and we speak about that from time to time, and I think last time we touched on that as well, but I will never be tired, guys, to tell you about the businesses that I don't like, okay? And you know, some of you know it. If you don't, I'm gonna tell you right now. I have two types of businesses that are very popular, but that I don't like, all right? And I'll explain why. So the businesses are the trucking businesses, all right? When you come, you buy trucks and you transfer the goods between the states. That's number one. And number two, the restaurants, okay? Cafes, restaurants, anything that has to do with the preparation of the food and selling of the food. Well, let me explain my thoughts behind it, okay? It's not about the nature of the business that I don't like. It's about the approach of the people who want to do these businesses. And I have no problem if you have a lot of experience in trucking businesses outside of the US and you have experience with restaurants and cafes, whatever, canteens, you're dealing with food. It's good. You have a better chance to succeed if you have experience in the past. But from my experience, a lot of people who want to do trucking business and restaurant business have never done it before, okay? And again, it's not the worst. The worst if you have never done it before and there is no one to help you, okay? For me, it's a recipe to fail, okay? And of course, not only this type of businesses, any business that you have never done and there is no one to help you is a recipe to fail. But these two specific ones, it's like a very fast way to fail, okay? Why? Well, let me explain. Trucking business. And the way I know it, because I deal so much with the businesses like this, okay? Because, let me tell you, even the state of registration of your company, of your trucks, affects your business a lot, okay? If you have your title for the trucks in Florida versus Washington, you're gonna have different premiums for your insurance. And the insurance could be like 3 times as much. Like if you don't know what you're doing, if you don't know where you register your company, your trucks, you can spend like 3 times as much on the truck insurance, which is already not very cheap, okay? That could be a difference between $5,000 and $15,000 for one truck, okay? So I think this very small example among maybe a dozen of examples to show you that you cannot do business of trucking if you don't know what you're doing, because you're gonna spend a lot of money, you're gonna lose a lot of money, and you may not find the way to make money in this business. If you find, yes, it's very profitable. Don't get me wrong. Restaurants and trucking business, why they attract so much people and so much investment? Because if you do it right, if you do it properly, you're going to make a lot of money. It's the marginality of the profit is huge, but to get to that point, you have to have something more than just the idea. Okay, same with the restaurants, same thing. You don't know how to buy those the products. They're gonna go bad. You're gonna throw them away. You're gonna pay more money. So it's a mess. Okay, it's a mess. All right, so let's see. Please, what's your contact details? Stella. So, I don't know if there's a moderator today with us in the chat. You can always find all my contact information in the About section of my YouTube channel, because you guys on my YouTube channel right now. So go in About. There are all the contacts. And under each video in the description, there are also the contacts and the free evaluation. Guys, if you have not filled out the form for free evaluation of your case, which means that you answer the questions, I look at them, and free of charge, I don't take any money from you. I get back to you and say, hey Stella, hey Hina, here is the analysis of your case, the initial analysis. If you want more, if you want me to build the initial strategy, let's meet at the complex immigration planning, okay? Where I can go deep in your case and see what's going on, okay? And there you go. Here is the links, the free evaluation, free analysis of your case. And also, the moderator, please send the links to contact us on Telegram and WhatsApp. So you guys will have all the contact information. Stella, you need the L1 visa route, CEO. Great. I have a lot of experience with CEOs on L1 visa. So let's start with you filling out the form for me. I'll look at it, and I'll let you know if your case have a potential or not, okay? If not, there is no need to move on. If I see the potential, I say, Stella, let's meet at the complex immigration planning. Let's discuss your case into a lot of detail, all right? So guys, I think it was very good. The topic was very narrow. Let's wrap up right here. Next Thursday, same day, same time, same place, okay? I'll see you next Thursday, 11 a.m. Miami, whatever your time is. And make sure you fill out the application, you contact my company. I can guarantee you, if you contact my company right now, within 30 minutes, you'll get an answer, okay? If you ask some questions, you'll get an answer. So don't miss the opportunity. I'm Stanislav Shamayev, a lawyer of the future. Your future begins here. Good luck.